All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Life Between the Sticks. As always, your host, Brandon, my co-host, Cody Cropper, the face behind it. How's it going, sir? You are not in your basement. We are separated. You've left.
We are separated. It will be announced tomorrow, but
so this won't be out before that.
Oh, well, then I'm in Orange County. What's up, guys? Took a step down, playing in the USL one season. Let's do it. Why not?
Snows 3 inches and you run away. How embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. The cold got to me, had to vacate Minneapolis and head into the sunshine. I'm going to get a nice little tan.
Orange County, what's your mascot? The Choppers, the Oranges?
That's a great question. I honestly don't know.
Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out soon enough. Black and orange are the new colors, which is the same as my Division III college that I played at. So turns out you and I have more in common than what you thought.
Hey, that's okay. I accept that. You know what? Maybe it's fate.
I don't know. All right. Well, yeah, we'll be definitely hearing about your adventure in USL Championship, right?
Correct. USL Championship.
Right. That'll be good to hear. I know your buddy, Mr. Nelson, is also.
Yes, he is. FC Tulsa.
Anyone else you know?
Yeah. Nico Hansen is at San Antonio. And I know 3 players at Miami FC, Kyle Murphy, Mark Segbers, and my boy Michael Salazar. Yeah, nice. I know quite a few players in this league, and it's a very competitive league and one that I'm very much looking forward to being in for the season.
All right. Well, we'll see how that journey goes, but we're here to talk MLS, Cody. That's right.
We are.
Week 3 is in the books. We would have recorded earlier, but you were literally on a flight and doing medicals and things of that nature. So
that is
we're
correct.
A day late, but not $1 short. You're going to get all of your money's worth, I promise. So we're just going to run top to bottom like we did last time. Bonus points that we get to do the Revs game in LAFC that we weren't going to do originally. So let's kick it off. Early kickoff, by the way, Atlanta United 3, Charlotte 0. Charlotte are bad. This game kicked off at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m.
11 a.m.
Do we know why?
I don't know why, but all I can say is Charlotte FC is in shambles.
Yeah, they
do not look good. I did steal that,
but they are bad.
They are bad. They're really struggling right now, and I feel for them because, as we discussed before hitting record, they are in the market to build a new training facility. They have that
was Chicago.
Very nice stadium. Oh, that was Chicago?
Yeah. Chicago, Charlotte. They're both bad.
I guess. Yeah, if you want to look at it like that. Okay, never mind. I was wrong, and thank you for correcting me.
So
either way, they're still a mess.
Yeah, not much there for them. And I mean, it's just like, what are we supposed to talk about when it comes to that? But I think you pegged this one because of Atlanta United, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
A lot of people weren't thinking that they were going to put on a run. They look comprehensive right now this season. Not only are they, flying just as a team, they continue to score goals. New people are scoring goals. That's right. Their academy star, Caleb Wiley, is on the double on the day. Yeah. And then Luis Araujo.
2 goals and an assist. Don't forget about that.
Yeah,
and the assist.
Man of the match performance.
Absolutely. 2nd year homegrown. I mean, good little addition to their very potent attacking play.
It was all in the first half too. I mean, this game was over before it started. Charlotte scoring in the 5th minute, the 12th minute. At that point, you're pretty much like, okay, well, this is going to be tough for Charlotte to come back. And then 45+2, again, scoring in stoppage time at first half. I mean, it's lights out at that point. And Charlotte's at home again. Like, they have not had a good start to the season whatsoever. And they played at least 2 games at home. Attendance chopped in half down to 31,500 for this game. Wow. I don't know what they're going to do to kind of change their trajectory right now.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in. I think their organization has a lot to consider or reconsider. as they move forward through the rest of the season. But as you said, I pegged this one because of Atlanta's performance. Not only Caleb Wiley stepped up to the plate, but again, Thiago Almeida looks extremely confident. He looks good. And I think that that's what winning a World Cup at the age of 21, 22 years old might do.
Yeah, definitely very well earned. Look, Atlanta's scoring 2.3 goals per, game right now. That is very significant. They're undefeated, 2 wins, a draw, 6 goals for, 2 against with a +4. They can win at home. They can win on the road, as we just saw. They're a surprise. I mean, they're leading the East right now, right? They're in first, Nashville second, Cincy third. And all those 3 teams are the exact same as far as, points. But them and Nashville are leading on the goal difference front. But again, Atlanta scored 6 goals. Only St. Louis City has scored more goals than them, which is crazy. Actually, I take that back. LAFC have as well, and Seattle also have 6. But it just shows you, like, they are definitely knocking around with the top teams in the league early on. The defense starting to look settled when you have Miles Robinson in the team of the week and you have Caleb Wiley in team of the week. You're doing something right. So I don't know, between coaching staff, between just, multiple players chipping in on this one, Cody, it's just seems difficult to try to, peg when they're going to maybe slip up. I was kind of trying to look ahead at their result or their schedule just to see maybe who's the next big one for them. They've got Portland next at home. I mean, that's a great barometer.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a great test for them. However, as you said, they have Miles Robinson in team of the week with a host of other names. And when you look at their team last year, they had the injury bug. This year, they've started on the right foot. They've gotten Guzan back. They've gotten Robinson back. And now they're starting to kind of put all of the pieces together. Almeida's performing. Academy or homegrown players, if you will, are performing. And all of the pieces are beginning to just fall into place for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there we go. Literally nothing to say about Charlotte, and that's not my fault. Next one up was Vancouver 1, Dallas 1, back at BC Place for the Whitecaps. Again, them and Dallas, very average teams at this point. 1-1 draw. That seems to be Dallas's favorite scoreline recently. Dallas in 6th, Vancouver in 11th in the West. I mean, what can you really say about this one?
Fair result, missed chances, solid goalkeeping, however you want to look at it for both teams. Both teams obviously had plenty of chances, but the goalkeeping from Paes and Vancouver's new goalkeeper were very good performances. So that's, in my opinion, what you peg it up to.
Takaoka.
Takayoko.
When I watch the highlights back, to your point, there's a lot more chances. They're just sloppy teams in attack, which, look, is the hardest part of the game. I give them that. So it just, it didn't really provide a lot, though, at the end of it, when you only got 2 shots on target from Dallas and 4 from Vancouver. They're just 10 and 2 of those being blocked. There's just not a lot that goes into it. So we're not going to spend too much time. But I still don't think anyone's getting too excited about either team. Not our fault. It's kind of their fault, but they can decide when they want to turn it on and try to impress us. Next one, what you think? A couple of big hitters. I thought this was a good one on paper looking at it. Cincinnati 1, Seattle 0. This match taking place at Cincy, TQL Stadium, 25,500. Good turnout for Cincy. Yes. Brenner with the opening goal, Hagelin getting a red card in the 83rd minute. There's all sorts of drama in this one too.
Yep. Lots of drama. Hard tackles, as you said, the red card, and then a goal called off.
We saw a lot of that this weekend.
Yeah, we did.
That's something you and I were kind of texting about. Is that, I was watching the Premier League this weekend. So many refereeing issues across the Premier League, so many games. and it was all types of things.
Yeah.
MLS, they leveraged VAR. They leveraged the pitch side monitor. They go check it out. What I would say, it's almost like an ego thing. In Europe, specifically the Premier League, they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to be seen as human or flawed.
Yeah.
And the MLS are like, oh shit, go look at it. Okay, cool. I'm going to go look at it. What do you think from a player's perspective about the referees leveraging pitch side monitors, having someone in there saying like, hey, I'm not going to say if you got it right or wrong. I'm just saying you should go look at it. What do you think?
I think if you're going to instill VAR in the game, then using the pitch side monitor to the benefit of the game needs to be done. I think that's why we have it. That's why it was instilled. And it allows for referees to make the correct decision. There will obviously still be mistakes made. However, it limits those mistakes.
You hope.
Or helps to limit those mistakes.
Yeah, you hope. So there was some good stuff there. Good goal from Brenner. Took his opportunity. Tight game. The way it stands for them, Cincy in third. I think, you were kind of expecting them to get in that playoff hunt and really supplant themselves more than just a wild card team this season. Whereas, I got to scroll. Seattle, third in the West. Again, high expectations for them just because their coach, their team's pretty much settled. We always like to cheese them a little bit and say, how well can they do away from home with that advantage that they have there? So not much between those two teams, which I think, goes to show it's quite tight. DC United 1, Orlando City SC 1. Rooney's men, I'm going to keep using that all the time. Do not quit, because Maguire for Orlando scored in the 53rd minute. DC kept on going. Durkin in the 80th minute. They did not let up. They have that Rooney mentality. They are going to be obnoxious. And the same thing, Orlando City had been in a good run of form for the most part this season. They are in 7th. They, 1-1, have tied 2. So undefeated, albeit not getting as many points on the board as they'd want.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, this for me is another fair result. I don't think Orlando created enough offensively. And I think although DC did create a plethora of opportunities offensively, Galese performed well in goal for Orlando. On top of that, Benteke, not clinical enough for me right now. Missed 2 or 3 good opportunities to put DC United up 1-0 before Orlando scored, and then also to bring them level once Orlando was up 1-0. Yeah.
Orlando 9 shots, 4 on target. DC United 16 shots, 5 on target. So a lot more shots, only the 1 extra one that they had. But you kind of look at some of the stats, and they definitely had the upper hand on a lot of it. And they were home. Maybe you assume that it wasn't enough. I think Rooney's probably going to feel like that was a missed opportunity for them. But Orlando's proven to be a good team. Their goalkeeper, who I'm blanking real quick as I pull up the lineup. He's getting quite a bit of love so far from the league. They put out some clips of just him on the day. And so, they play at the back 5, they're setting up hard to be beaten. That's Orlando's goal right now.
Absolutely. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think setting up defensively and being organized ensures that you are not going to lose games. If you don't concede, you can't lose. Interesting
between the two. Same thing though, right? Like, what's your breakout performance? Like someone make the splash, someone make the headline, but we haven't seen it yet. A bit of a headline here: New York City FC 1, Miami 0. Miami had a bit of a hot hand, especially considering that most of us thought that they were going to be below average, this season. They're trying to do enough to stay in it. So, Inter Miami, they are 2-1, one lost, right? Then fourth place. NYCFC, you and I talked about it. Not exciting, right? We were not excited about them, what they had to offer. They go get the goal at home. And I think, did they make a goalkeeper change? No, Baratz is still in. So I was trying to figure out what they're going to do to shake it up, but maybe formation changes for whatever reason on the day, it clicked for them.
It could also be the field. You have to remember that the field at Yankee Stadium is extremely small in comparison to other fields throughout the MLS, just because they play on a baseball field. That said, could you argue that New York City is finally finding their identity? I mean, they created 13 clear-cut chances, so they had 13 shots, and 7 of them were on target. And this ultimately demanded a team of the week performance from Drake Callender in goal for Miami.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too. Only 2 block shots. I mean, they created chances. And I was watching the highlights. I thought Callender did do well, especially with the chances that New York City are getting. This is, to me, is like the change. Like, this is a New York City that we have not seen at all this season. Granted, they're winning off an own goal, but they did enough to win. Like, the fact that it was an own goal that snuck through and kind of trickled in, I mean, fine. They were all over. And if you look at the shot map, all but about 4 or 5 of their shots are inside the box too. So again, we're talking about quality. I'm just surprised. Honestly, I'm just really surprised. And so that puts New York City FC in 10th, right? So they're 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw, 2 goals, 4, 3 against, -1. And it leaves Inter Miami, was I saying 4th place. So they're still happy. They're probably going to be annoyed to have lost 1-0 off an own goal, but City had the upper hand. No doubt on this one. Like, credit where it's due. What about this one? Philly. Philly won, Chicago 0. Philly seem human. They're not just running away with the league. I think, like, to be fair, we all gave them. They're in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. They've got 2 wins. They've got a loss. They've got 5 goals for, 3 against, +2. So they're not in a bad spot. They're just not, I think, running away with it. They're going to have to earn it.
Agreed. They're going to have to dig in. They're going to have to bring that Philly grit and really show people that they deserve to be the out and out, or one of the out and out favorites for the season. That said, I'm curious to see how the injury to Andre Blake impacts this team moving forward. I don't know how serious the injury is, but it was a non-contact injury. And usually when that happens, it's not very promising.
I mean, 33rd minute, right? Yep. It's kind of early on too. Definitely not the time you want to make a sub, let alone anytime a goalkeeper, let alone the number 1 goalkeeper in the league.
Exactly.
So we're gonna have to see what they do. But again, wild game. Like, Herbers gets his 2nd yellow in the 50th minute, sent off. Kamara gets his 2nd in the 93rd, sent off. What I would say about Chicago, and the stats are very even between these two. They both got over 10 shots. They only had 2 and 3 shots on target. There wasn't a lot in it. I just watched the highlights and I kind of lost some respect for Chicago. And I just feel like they're not disciplined. Just feel like they weren't really like, they had a chance. They were in it the whole time, and they just kind of made dumb decisions to put themselves in a situation to go down 1 and then go down 2 at the end, So that's where I was kind of let down.
2 men, you mean?
Yeah. Go down 2 players. He ended up, finishing the game with 9 players. I just, and like silly. Incidents and stuff. Silly. And I'm like, you didn't need to, right? Like, you're professionals. Kamara's experience. Like, I think the frustration just boiled over.
Absolutely. I think there's also the question of, has Chicago made the right decision in backing an 18-year-old goalkeeper to be the guy. You look at the goal, and a lot of people will be questioning the goalkeeping on that.
Brady.
Yep. And then my next question is, can he recover mentally for next week? At 18 years old, that's a very difficult place to be mentally and emotionally, knowing that you've just conceded a soft goal. I've been there as a goalkeeper. I've done that. It's very difficult to overcome. Now, can he bounce back and put a performance together next week that helps his team bounce back in the standings?
Yeah. I mean, so first of all, he just had his birthday at the beginning of March, so he's now 19.
Okay, 19. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just, just clarifying. Look, he's played. Okay,
my information was incorrect.
You're good. You're on the spot. 2 games in 2 seasons, right? Yeah. Not a lot of experience. So to your point, because he hasn't been with, I don't know if he's playing with Chicago Fire 2, or you're going back and forth, but 2 games for the Chicago Fire full team in 2 seasons. It's what you were saying is like, what can he fall back on for confidence? This is uncharted territory for him. He's covering for Gaga Slonina, who went to Chelsea, trying to fill these high expectations that are there for goalkeepers and things. So, it's to your point, like, where's he going to draw strength from? Hopefully the coach is in his ear saying, you got this, don't worry, bounce back, be better. But these are the parts of the game that are sometimes hard to overcome. And we look at Fire, their next game is against Cincinnati at home, and then Miami.
That's tough.
Right?
That's tough.
So it's not impossible, but it's not necessarily going to be easy for them. Chicago Fire are in 13th place in the Eastern Conference, whereas still learning these conferences. Who do they play? I'm all over the place.
Nope. They played
Philly
in the East.
Yeah,
should be towards the top.
So we'll see. I think you can say, okay, bummer, like lost to Philly, but he's got to bounce back. And unfortunately, FC Cincinnati are not going to take it easy.
Correct.
Correct. Do you think they'll change, or do you think they'll stick? What do you think Chicago will do with Brady?
I think they stick, simply because dropping a young goalkeeper after a mistake might do more damage than the mistake itself.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, let's see what they do. You assume that they have a vet on the roster, but if you really want to invest in him and your season's not looking great anyways, you might as well ride the wave. All right. Next one up was Toronto 1, Columbus 1. Again, still waiting for Toronto to fulfill the predictions that you put in front of them this season, Cody. Kerr in the 24th minute, Medranda in the 75th minute. 1-1.
Yeah. Toronto underperforming. You could argue that they are experiencing some growing pains with all the new players, but not living up to the expectations that myself or Eli this week in MLS put on their shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Big players, you got a big coach, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you big players should make your life easier. I'm trying to figure out, and I get, Bernadeschi's in, Insigne's out with an injury. I wonder if he was even, he's not even on the bench right now, but Sean Johnson in goal. I think Columbus scored when they got called back. But wasn't there a goal to Chip where he's running in behind? It's a great
thing of beauty. Thing of beauty. Obviously, great link-up play to start with the short, long. Morris plays the ball in behind. And then the finish from Medranda is world class.
Because he kind of takes it unexpectedly. And so Sean is planted because he's not.
Sean's in no man's land.
But he didn't even give a chance to take a false step or jump because, like I said, when in the highlights, I wasn't ready for him to take it. I think on his left, it was so well taken.
It was instinctual.
Yes. It was such a good goal. I was very, very impressed with it. You know, on the other side, like I said, you've got Michael Bradley still. You've got Bernadeschi. You've got good players. Osorio's in there.
Matt Hedges, Sean Johnson.
Right. Like we talked about this. This is their Golden State season. They got to do something with it. Still early days, but the expectations are too high. The money spent is crazy. And they are in 11th place right now. They are winless right now.
Yep. That's tough. That is very, very tough.
-1 goal difference. That's not the return you were expecting on your investment if you were the Toronto FC ownership group. Do you think that they would do anything drastic about Bradley as coach?
No, I think they're going to give him till the end of the season. He's obviously built this team for a reason and done it the way that he has done it for a reason. I think they have to give him the time because the buyout clause on his contract is probably a couple $1 million. So you're going to pay him out and then go out and sign another coach. And then the question is, who are you going to go and get? You're going to bring somebody in from overseas?
Bruv, I want to see Big Sam in the MLS.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Relegation with that Big Sam.
Not with that team, though. That team would not do well with Big Sam. Bernadeschi and Insigne playing Big Sam football, no chance.
Oh, how I can dream. Anyways, before we jump into the next one, a quick shout out to your friend, your partner. We have overnight muesli, which is probably a bit of a surprise to people.
Yep, it is. Holos organic overnight muesli, 20 grams of plant-based protein, 12 grams of fiber, 13 vitamins and minerals, and over 1 billion CFU probiotics. It is a fantastic way to get your day started. One of my favorites. Add a little bit of peanut butter, maybe some fruit, and you are cooking.
Well, the great thing is you actually don't have to.
Yeah, you don't. You just
do you do them overnight?
Yes, I do. I throw some water or milk in, put it in the fridge, and it is the perfect breakfast to go.
Like in a container, just an open bowl.
In a container. I put a lid on. I put a lid on all my food. I'm not a savage.
So happy that Nicole is taking care of you and taught you how to be domesticated.
She has domesticated me.
Links in the description. Holos, if you're looking for honestly just a way to start your day that isn't going to give you a sugar rush. It's not going to be heavy, but it's just going to get you what you need. Holos is exactly what you're looking for. Organic muesli, and it looks like they have some different flavors. So again, link in the description. Check them out. If you do, let us know. All right, next one up is SKC versus LAG. Galaxy 0, Kansas City 0. Despite the scoreline being zeros, it was actually a bit of an interesting game.
It was. There were a lot of chances.
30 shots from Kansas City, if you don't mind me saying.
30 shots.
What?
I did not know that.
11 shots on goal. You don't have to wonder why Bond was goalkeeper team of the week.
That explains a lot.
When was the last time you made 11 saves in a game?
I don't know. I can remember. I think Philly away, I might have made 9 or 10, 8 or 9. 10.
Hey, and a shutout. That's like double donuts.
No. I didn't get a shutout. We conceded 5.
Well, I
conceded 5. So that means I made 6 faced 16 on target and made 8, 9, 10 saves. You know, it was a lot, but we as a team that year were very poor. So
yeah, well,
I'm not gonna revisit the club name either. So
double donuts for Bond.
Double donuts for Bond for sure. Anything over 15 and a clean sheet, absolutely.
Holy smokes! They had 11 shots on goal, 11 block shots. So credit to Galaxy's defense and commitment to the cause. But they only mustered up 8 shots, 2 on goal. So not much from Galaxy. But yeah, there was a lot from the highlights here. 18,500 from Kansas City. I'm just struggling to get over this. This is again, Peter Vermees kind of contract year, got the extension. He's going for it. Graham Zusi, I will never get over the fact he is still playing as right back, but they've got to, you got to do better with 11 shots on target. You got to get one.
Yeah, you have to. And it is only a matter of time before it works out. For me, they don't have a goal so far this season. That's such a difficult statistic to swallow when you have 11 shots on target, but it is what it is. It's very unfortunate. Like we said earlier, no wonder Bond was named in the team of the week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This game has immediately jumped SKC to the top of the average shots on target radar. Wow. So, again, though, both these teams are kind of like, all right, do something, like show me what we want to get excited about. Galaxy are in 12th, Kansas City are in 10th in the Western Conference, so not like there's a whole lot there. Neither team have a win yet. Nope. Let's see, 1 loss, 2 draws apiece. So you have -1 and -2 goal difference as well. And LA, if you care, they've only played 2 games and none at home. So I don't know how much weight you put into that.
They're also missing Chicharito.
Who?
Chicharito.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of a big piece.
Javier Hernandez
puzzle, isn't he?
I'm wondering what sort of impact he will have on their ability to score and ultimately win games.
I mean, they got to figure something out.
Yep.
All right. How about Minnesota 1, Red Bull 1, Snowmageddon, Minnesota. This one stole the headlines for all the wrong reasons, Cody.
It did.
18th minute, Longwane scores for Minnesota off a corner kick. And then Reyes in the 49th minute scores for New York. I believe it was a corner kick. He definitely scored off a header.
They were both set piece goals.
You're telling me?
Minnesota's was the second phase, and New York's was the first phase.
Cody, this game, if you haven't seen it, you need to go.
You need to at social least media. Watch the highlights.
You need to go to social media and check this out. So Minnesota, fantastic. We've gotten some snow. I didn't think we got that much, and I lived here. I lived here.
Do you want to know an interesting stat about this winter, Brandon?
Okay.
Top 10 snowiest winters in Minnesota history. We hit number 8 this past weekend with the snowfall on Saturday.
I could see it. It was only like 2 weeks ago where we got like 10 inches in like a day and a half.
And then during the New Year period, we had 13 inches in 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever it was.
But this game, I guess what I'm saying is I didn't think it was that bad outside. So the whole pitch minus the lines was covered and the
18-yard boxes.
The goal boxes were cleared. So, I mean, and they have the orange ball out there. The coaches have come out afterwards, and I think both are a bit embarrassed about it. They just said there wasn't much we could do. I thought Minnesota's field is heated. I'm kind of surprised that it accumulated. It's one of those things where you kick the ball and the snow sticks to it and it builds a snowman as it rolls. I can't imagine what it was like playing in this game. The ball has to play different. Your footing's going to feel different. As a goalkeeper, you got to be sitting there going, what am I doing out here?
Just freezing. I mean, as you said, the ball not only has to play different, it's probably playing different because it's rock solid.
Yeah.
So the ability to kick the ball, the bounce of the ball, the way the ball moves.
Yeah.
Everything.
The way of the pass, impacted. Because the snow's going to slow it down. Look, New York Red Bull, they dropped it and then they tried to hit like a 50-yard long ball and he duffed it right away. The second kick of the game showed how dumb it was.
Yeah. And to be honest, the game played into Red Bull's favor because Red Bull just plays a very direct style of soccer. And
they're anti-NYCFC.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. They're the complete opposite. And, a quote from a friend who plays for Minnesota United. Playing against Red Bulls is always a mess because of their style of play. So this gave them even more reason to just be super direct.
Yeah.
It played into their favor.
I couldn't imagine like Will Trapp trying to control the game as a deep lying midfielder.
No.
I mean, to me, it's just like,
well, you're also probably sitting there thinking, okay, so now I have to go and crack this player, get all snowy and freezing cold, and then get up and run for another 60 minutes, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
In the freezing cold, soaking wet.
Again, to me, this is not the best representation of soccer in the United States. I get when the U.S. did it in Denver against Costa Rica in World Cup qualifying. Honestly, I'm all for that. Shenanigans, right? Like, play the country to your advantage. It turns out we have every climate known to man here, so we can leverage what we need. This is MLS regular season, right? This is put the best product out you can. And this wasn't it, unfortunately. So the only reason I wanted to stop on this game a little bit and pause is because I was a bit disappointed in the situation. Portland had been delayed. Obviously El Tráfico got pushed way back. But to me, it's just one of those things where it just, there are no Sunday games right now. And I'm sure that they have TV contracts and things like that. But you just wonder, like, could you have delayed it for 30 minutes and been able to clear off the field? And I know you have beer contracts and food vendor contracts and all these things. And I get that. But at what point does the on-field product become the most important? There's my question for the game of soccer. And if Garber's going to try to enforce everyone to have a retractable roof, he's crazy. That's not plausible. Yeah. Like, these owners are already plowing tens and hundreds of millions of dollars into this thing. Minnesota just built a brand new, beautiful stadium. If it was such a big deal to him, he could have set it there, but he didn't.
Yeah. I agree.
Boom.
And I don't know how much the product on the field takes precedent over the profitability of the league. And that's a question for Mr. Don Garber.
Yeah, it's a business. I get that.
It is.
But to me, I bet 30, 40 minutes would have given him time to clean it off.
And to me, as a player, you want to step out onto the field and be able to give the best product possible.
Oh, I mean, we're talking like muscle injuries in this type of a game.
Absolutely.
Because you can't stay warm.
Yeah, the increase of muscle injuries, the increase of
footing
play leading. Yes, exactly. Poor play leading to slipping and sliding and, the possibility of frostbite. Being out there running around for 90 minutes in the freezing cold in the snow surely has to increase the risk of frostbite.
Yeah. I meant to DM Dane. I still might. He's still out there in shorts and short sleeve jersey. And I'm like, look, Dane, I know you're Canadian. Yeah. I was like, but you got at some point, like your visual reputation, like you just got to be smart. So I'm going to ask him if he's warmed up yet. I need to follow up.
I am from Minnesota. I love Minnesota, but you would not catch me out there in shorts and a short sleeve goalkeeper jersey. I'd at least have the compression top on, the winter compression top, and some compression shorts, at least at a bare minimum.
Hike the socks up. I get it. It's cold. So Minnesota's in 7th right now in the West. So again, what do we expect from them? Not really sure. New York Red Bull even worse. They're in 12th in the East. So
it's tough.
Enough from them. One of the leaders though, Nashville 2, Montreal 0. Schaffelberg goal again. Washington in the 89th minute. In Nashville, look good. Mukhtar with an assist as well to kind of put it on there. Shaq Moore also with an assist for Washington's goal in the 89th minute. In Montreal, more the same.
Yeah. To touch on Montreal, they're simply just not creating enough offensively. They are
0 shots on goal.
Yeah. They are missing the impact of Jordy Mihailovic. big time.
So what do they do, or do we just let them sink this season?
I think they're just going to sink this season. I mean, there's nothing I can do and there's nothing you can do. So you and I are kind of just sitting here watching.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty bad. They're not as bad as Charlotte, who are dead last, but they're in 14th with a -5 goal difference, winless as well, 3 losses. There's nothing to write home for them. But on the flip side, Nashville, right? They're back to 2.33 goals per game. 1-2 drawn 1, 4 goals for, no goals against. They are clean sheet FC right now. They are the only team to have yet to concede a single goal this season.
What a fantastic statistic. And I am sure their head coach is absolutely buzzing because he has built this team very similarly to what you would expect like an English championship side to be like. Big, strong, athletic, and they are very well organized. From front to back to front, they are solid. They have their little playmaker in Mukhtar, and he connects the front to the back to the front, and then the rest of them get a job done. They all are there. They all know their job. They execute it well, and they play half decent football. And when they don't, they're very clinical and direct in Route 1 football.
Yeah, I feel like they're on the same page. You know, to me, Seattle Sounders, they absolutely click. LAFC click. I would say Nashville look like they're clicking this season too, all the way from Joe Wills to Teal Bunbury. Bunbury could have, should have scored in this one as well, off the post. You know, from a vet like him, you put up money that he would have nailed it. But look, Gary Smith, the most English names of all, you know, setting this team up to be successful. And they've got more to come off the bench as well. Right. They seem, I like Schaffelberg's work rate as well.
I do too.
No nonsense. And he absolutely rifled his goal, which was fun.
He did. And both of his goals, 2 goals in 3 games, have been very good finishes.
So Nashville,
Washington's goal was his first goal in MLS. Nashville native, probably meant the world to him to score in front of his first goal in front of a home crowd and what I would assume a plethora of family members.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's very easy. And he comes off the bench, right? So it's easy for them to get there. Nashville, look, 26,000 again at this game. They're making some noise in MLS and you love to see it. So good for them. We'll see how far they can go. Right now, it's them and Atlanta United just pushing each other neck and neck. Next up was Real Salt Lake 1, Austin City FC 2. Gallagher with the first goal in the 9th minute, Glad with the equalizer for Salt Lake in the 22nd, and then Wolf, 33rd minute, seals all the points for Austin.
Yeah. I think Austin's goals. Wow, fantastic finishes from distance. I mean, they're both strong displays of individual effort. They both pick, Gallagher and Wolf both pick the ball up, drive 20 to 25 yards, and hit the ball from 20 to 25 yards from goal. Both, or one in the top corner, the second one in the side, arguably the side netting. Great efforts.
That was the other kind of like general observation I had. There was a lot of goals from distance this weekend in the league. Why do you think that is? Obviously, you're talking about this one, the second goal. Salt Lake kept dropping. They dropped inside their box, gave them a ton of space. Do you feel like goals from distance and offset pieces is very much an MLS type thing?
I wouldn't say goals from distance are. I would say set pieces are a very common theme throughout world football. Doesn't matter what league you're in. That said, I would compare MLS to a League One championship level. And if you look at those leagues, there are a lot of goals from distance, or a portion of them are.
Sure.
However, I think this weekend was more than usual.
Just an anomaly, a little golazo sprinkled throughout the league.
Yeah, a little golazo fest, yeah.
Well, Austin are 4th in the Western Conference. Again, you expected them to be right up there with LAFC after last season. They're in and amongst it, right? But they're 2 wins, 1 loss on the season, 5 goals for, but 4 against. So that's not too tidy for them. On the other side, Real Salt Lake, they're in 9th, right? This 1 win, 2 losses, -2 goal difference. There's not a moment of inspiration, I would say, from them, but
there isn't, but there is a player of inspiration. Justin Glad, obviously delivering 2 goals in 3 games, which is not bad for a center back.
Oh, I mean, that's, again, if your center back's a leading goal scorer, and you had Krylock obviously pegged.
Yep. Well, I had Krylock pegged as a comeback player of the year. However, I think the drama in this game added to it a little bit.
Yeah.
A goal called back for each team.
Red card overturned.
Red card rescinded. And again, it goes back to the discussion we had earlier of the referees using the monitor and VAR stepping in to make the game better.
Right. Referee gives a straight red and then goes back and brings it down to yellow.
Yep.
That's surprising.
And I think that's good. That's what it's there for. It's there to correct the incorrect decisions of referees.
What a roller coaster of emotion for both Salt Lake and Austin, at that point as well. So this game, if you go watch the highlights, it was eventful. Like, to see, even though all the goals of the first half, it was eventful, but it was not the best game of the weekend. This is the one I am pegging as the game of the weekend. It was Portland 1, St. Louis 2. What reality are we living in? That expansion team, St. Louis City SC, they're a soccer club, not a football club, are freaking in first place of the Western Conference, undefeated, 3 games played, 3 games won, 8 goals for, 4 goals against, with a +4 goal difference. Cody, they have a 3 points per game average, in line with LAFC leading the league. What the hell?
Yeah. Not only that, they're on track to make MLS history if they can win their 4th game of the season. So what does that tell you? Has St. Louis figured it out? Are they?
What it tells me is that they're bribing, because isn't this the second game that someone backpassed them inside the box and they've scored?
No, that was last week in the first week.
All right. My point stands. Like,
the point stands.
We
correct.
should really look into this.
Yeah, we should. And listen, this is a tweet that you sent me, a link that you sent me. According to OptaJack, St. Louis are the first team to record 3 straight come from behind wins, and first to do so in an inaugural season.
Yeah. I mean, they gave up a goal in the 3rd minute and they didn't even care. Stroud came back in the 46th minute, Hybert in the 75th. And Portland are a good team. You and I have talked about
They're a
this.
very good team. They're a very good team.
So, look, some of the stats again, because St. Louis City is just confusing me on all sorts of levels. They've got 10 shots, 5 on goal. That is a phenomenal ratio. Portland had 13 shots, only 3 on goal. They're winning more of their duels. They're winning more tackles. They're getting more clearances. They're not even that dirty. They have less fouls than Portland in this one. And they get 3 goals off of 0.9 XG. That's not how XG is supposed to work.
No, it is not.
How do you only have a 0.9 XG with 5 shots on target? Were they all outside the box?
They had to have been, yeah.
No, only one was outside the box.
I don't know what to tell you.
Dude,
you're the stats guy. You're the analyst over here.
XG
I'm just the
broken,
player.
or St. Louis City is broken. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, what do you think that locker room is like right now? Are they just as confused? Do you think they have a ton of confidence and this is what they're expecting?
They have so much confidence. They are on top of the tidal wave, just rolling. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon. It will be fascinating to see if they can make MLS history in their fourth game, which I'm assuming you're laughing because you just saw who
it's San Jose at home.
Oh, goodness.
But if there's ever a game to bogey, it's this one.
It's San Jose or Chicago or Charlotte.
So they've got
picking on San Jose. So
San Jose at home, Salt Lake away, Minnesota at home, Seattle away. Like they should beat
could go
3 of those teams.
They could go 6-0.
Absolutely. San Jose, Salt Lake, Minnesota, 2 of the 3 at home. Like,
why not?
It probably won't happen, but like there's very much a belief that it could at this point.
Correct. The statistics on them going 6-0 have got to be so small. However, if they can figure it out and they can make it happen, just the history that would be made. Just witnessing that would be incredible because teams coming in to the league from now on would be working so hard to try and replicate what St. Louis have done from setup to stadium to the entire infrastructure of what they've done to date.
But didn't Atlanta United kind of ruin it for everybody?
Yeah, they did.
Like, even though St. Louis is a wild success, Atlanta United has ruined it for everybody. Hey, can you tell me why they're playing Portland in the second game of the week and then they're playing them again at the end of April? Like, they play Portland twice in 2 months and then they're done for the rest of the season.
I don't know what to tell you.
Scheduling doesn't make
MLS
any sense.
Scheduling disaster.
It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's tough.
So Portland off to a slow start. They're in 8th right now. They've got 1 win, 2 losses, no draws, and the -1 goal difference. Not where they are expecting themselves to be, but this game was electric. It was a ton of fun to watch. Go check it out. Battle of the Bads rerun. San Jose 1, Colorado Rapids 0. Espinoza with the goal, but then Montero getting a red card in the 90+ 3rd minute.
Yeah. This one for me is the one decision that was wrong and should have been overturned by VAR. Montero in this moment is not being aggressive. I think he's trying to play the peacemaker. And his hand goes up while he's looking at a teammate and hits somebody in the neck.
Did they drop to the ground and roll?
I don't think so. I can't recall, but I don't think he should have been sent off.
Interesting. How about the goal?
Another one from distance. Espinoza. Yeah. Two from distance. He had one in the first half, one in the second half. And the one in the first half demanded a fantastic save from William Yarbrough.
Great save.
Touch, full stretch off the crossbar.
Yep.
Second one, he gets a piece of, but too much power, perfect position, heck of a strike in Espinoza, just in the top bin.
It was so good, especially, I think I was telling you about that too. I was so impressed. Even though it was 1-0, San Jose kind of pelted Colorado. I thought Yarbrough had a really good game. He had to deal with a lot in this one I kind of pull up the stats here. But yeah, this again, San Jose, you're like, all right, maybe you're starting to, come to form a little bit. They're okay. They're finding some form, but again, like Colorado also just aren't good either. So you also kind of wonder how much is who they're playing. I mean, they had 13 shots, 4 on goal. Colorado had 6 shots, none on goal. And when you get an XG of 0.5 versus 1.6, you're like, yeah, okay, San Jose did enough to get their goal on the day, and they did. But it just goes back to tell you, Colorado just really is not offering much of anything this season. Agreed. I mean, they are 13th, somehow ahead of Houston. No goal, no wins, 2 losses, a draw, and a -5 goal difference. They have actually not scored a goal at all this season.
The second team in the league to do that.
Yes.
SKC.
Montreal.
Oh, so maybe the third, because SKC hasn't scored either.
You're right. There's 3 teams.
3 teams. Wow.
Somehow Kansas City finds themselves.
What a tough start to a season.
Yeah.
No goals in 3 games.
You just have to be better. So yeah, San Jose, Colorado, it was the game we kind of expected. I think there's a little bit of action, but Cody, San Jose are in 5th place in the West.
Fantastic. Right? Good for them. It's above where I would have pegged them.
Well, and that's it, right? Like 2 wins, a loss, 4 goals scored, 3 against, +1. I didn't see this coming. I still think on average, they're going to settle back down, but they've done enough so far, right? To at least make people have to think about it. And like we were just talking about, St. Louis City is going to be playing them at home. You know, I scoffed at playing the Quakes. They might feel differently about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go back. I want to see who they beat earlier in the season, because I know it was a rough start. So they lost at 2-1 to Atlanta. They beat Vancouver 2-1, and then now they beat Colorado. So I do have to say, you may have 2 wins, but those are like, if you're ranking the opponent, they're a win's not a win. Like, those are gimme points. So good for you. But I think maybe St. Louis will be a good reality check for them then.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. All right. So that rounded out Saturday, which means we only have 1 game left. That was the one and only Sunday game. Reigning champions, LAFC, 4 New England Revolution, absolutely nothing. Bouanga had the penalty in the 14th minute. Then he scored in the 67th. Then Tillman in the 83rd and Block in the 90+6. So essentially is 2-0 for most of the game. And then LAFC, while Revs are stretched tired, just put 2 more past them.
Yeah. I would say New England were outperformed in pretty much every facet of the game.
Here you go. 18 shots, 12 on target.
Yeah. Petrovic, for me, even though he concedes 4 goals, is in conversation for team of the week. Some of the saves, if you have not watched the highlights or you did not watch the game, are absolutely fantastic. He plays very well. And without him, I think this game is 7 or 8-0, because New England, I don't recall, created more than maybe 1 or 2 shots on target, and they weren't anything special.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to think. I mean, you just think back to some of the games. I also thought like the goals that Charlotte gave up were like bad, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're like, how did you get yourself in that situation? Isn't this the one where like they tried to play out of the back and they just got swarmed and had turnovers, essentially trying to build out from the back going forward, and LAFC just sniped a couple of passes? I mean,
I think on one of the goals they did.
Yeah, they played themselves into trouble. You know, to your point, they just didn't do themselves any favors.
Right. There's also one goal, and it might have been Bouanga's second, where the New England back line, if you take a screenshot of when the ball is played, the back line is, all 4 defenders are in 4 different positions. They are not level in any capacity. They're very disjointed. It's just not what you expect from a very, historically, at least under Bruce Arena, historically organized team. Mm-hmm. It's not what you expect from a Bruce Arena team.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because, Bruce Arena, legacy MLS coach, Cherundolo, younger, probably played for Bruce. I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure that Venn diagram crosses over. Bruce has to be pretty annoyed that Cherundolo just ran through them.
I would think so. Yeah.
But you said Bruce is the happy-go-lucky guy. So what does he do when they get pummeled for nothing? He yell? Throw a clipboard? Or does he just take away your ability to wear what you want on flights?
It's a great question.
He probably is like, guys, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Hey, you're the one that said it.
Oh, LAFC.
I will say this. Two points from me from this game. Bouanga, 5 goals in 2 games. Absolutely phenomenal. The second one, the shithousery from LAFC during the decision to take a free kick between Bouanga and Acosta is fantastic. They played rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I couldn't believe it.
To see who took the free kick. Fantastic. That is shithousery at its finest. And you know what? It wasn't a bad attempt either. It's not like it didn't go in, but it didn't miss by a mile. It was a very solid effort from Bouanga, who won.
When I saw it in the replay, I was just like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? I can't believe this is real. But hey, whatever you got to do, right?
Yep.
You make sense. So, what a bunch of just goons out there just having the time of their life. Yeah. LAFC second.
Overgrown children, man.
That's you are. Professional athletes have no concept of workplace conduct.
We have no concept of workplace conduct or
oh my gosh,
or reality in general. We live in a bubble and
truth. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with.
That's why the transition post playing is so difficult for a lot of athletes, because you get into this mindset and it's tough to get out of that and then transition into the work world. You have to mature and you have to grow as a person. And a lot of professional athletes do not do that. Yeah.
No, it's funny. I've had like the joy to hang out with like you and some of the guys. Larry Fitzgerald trained where I worked for a couple of seasons too. And like I said, even as a vet, he was an absolute child. Like they're funny. Absolutely. It's fun, but like the just messing around is nonstop.
But Larry Fitz also knew that he made enough money to never have to work a day in his life if he didn't want to.
Nope.
Which he could afford to be an overgrown child as a vet in the league.
And I'm just saying childish in the sense of like always horsing around, like never really taking anything too serious.
100%.
It's like it's like the world is a playground for professional athletes. You know, it's always recess.
Absolutely, of course.
LAFC second place in the Western Conference, as we said earlier, doing the business, which is good for them. Revs, on the other hand, it's so hard for me to find the Revs with their new logo. Like they're in the Eastern, they're 6th. All right, so there we go. They're 6th. They're
not bad.
They're an even goal difference. It is 0. To your point, no, not bad. I believe that's playoff places because playoffs have expanded. So 9 teams from each league out of 14 and 15 will advance, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Overall, week 3 is in the book. Look, week 2 was the most electric. Week 3, okay.
Yeah. I think a very solid week. Lots of goals from distance, which makes it entertaining, right? There was a lot of drama with VAR, good decisions from referees, which is something you will very rarely hear me say because I do not like the zebras, even though there aren't zebras in soccer. But
they're highlighters.
That's a good one. I like that.
You can
very, very, very witty. Thank you. I thought it was a good week.
Mm-hmm. So we're starting to see. It's still too early to see things shake out, but we're definitely early surprised from Atlanta, Nashville, right up amongst it, alongside Cincy in the East, and then West. I mean, look, St. Louis City SC is stealing all the headlines. LAFC right where you expect them, Seattle right where you expect them, Austin as well. Maybe you could be a little bit surprised at the bottom sides of the table, but then again, not really. Based on the things have gone. So team of the match day, which is
team of the week.
Honestly, I think that has been trademarked and that's why they can't use it. So in the World Cup, they couldn't use man of the match because someone trademarked it. So they do king of the match and tied into Budweiser. Yeah.
That's gross.
People do that. In goal, you had Bond from LA with, what did I say, 11 saves and a shutout. Miles Robinson, Andre Reyes, and Kyle Hebert as the back three. Owen Wolf, Timothy Tillman, Obina Nwobodo, Chris Durkin in the midfield. And then Espinoza, Bouanga, and Caleb Wiley in the 3-man attack. Nwobodo is the only one of the outfield players beside, well, him and Miles Robinson are the only two who didn't score. So pretty much you want to be in the team of the week, gotta score goals. Score. Makes sense. Even defenders. So match day 3 is in the books. Overall, pretty happy. I'm still interested. I'm still engaged. It's doing well. I'm kind of watching the stats and some of the things shift out to kind of see where the disparities come. But so far we're in a good spot, I would say. Next week, Cody, all the games looks like Saturday. Yeah. All Saturday games for the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
So when we record on Sunday, we'll be able to cover them, but we're going to jump back in midweek, preview some of the games. I know we've got our eye on a few. Cody will make his prediction for his top 3, top 4 games to watch. Holos, obviously, if you're looking for a gut-friendly start to the day. You going to have it tomorrow?
I am, yes. I'm going to start my week off right. Well, my training week.
That's right. First day of training tomorrow.
It is.
Natural grass or turf?
Natural grass, which is fantastic.
Spoiled athlete.
Beautiful.
It's the only way to do it. Let's be honest. Don't get sunburnt. All right. I'm
going to try not to.
Stay protected. We'll be out. Enjoy your time in California. We'll be back midweek with a game week 4 preview, but we're out. Take care.